Good morning and welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Welcome, one and all. As you know, Tuesday is always about change. How many of you are feeling a change within yourself or within something that you are currently doing? Good morning. Our question of the day. Trish, good morning. What is our question of the day? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What is our question of the day?
Our question of the day is, in conversation, how did you feel?
In the last conversation, how did it make you feel? That is our question of the day. And so we're asking all of you that. Your last conversation, Trish, how did it make you feel? We are losing connection. Last conversation. How did the last conversation make me feel? Well, talking with a friend of mine that I hadn't heard from in a long time, I felt great. I felt really great that someone had reached out to me and was thinking. You never know who is thinking of you, and my last conversation was very encouraging. What about you, Trish? Your last conversation? Your last conversation. I don't see her. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Last conversation.
The last conversation I had with my grandparents, it made me feel happy and proud because they said they're proud of me and how far I came.
Yeah. So am I. I have to really say that. And your new album that's coming out. Wow. I'm really feeling that. I love Petals of Life. A lot of those songs are very deep. So bravo. You want to give a connection to how people can find you to hear that music? You may do so on both ends. As my co-host, Trish is a music artist, and I'm really loving your music. SoundCloud. Trish, you can go ahead and tell them.
You guys can find me on SoundCloud under Queen Faya, QU33NFIY4, Queen Faya. And my latest album that has dropped is the Book of Faya, telling my story and how far I came as a person.
Yeah. It really moved me yesterday. I got a chance to listen to the entire thing, and I'm liking it. I don't think there is anything that you have made that I don't like. Just a delicious album. Just let me put it that way. You know, if you love music, take a listen to that. Take a listen to it. What are we thankful for? Let's not forget that. I'm thankful for summer. Summer has given me opportunity to reinvent, create, think about, change. I'm thankful for the summer months. You know, summer as a kid was long, and we bugged our parents because we were so bored when really we had stuff to do. As an adult, I can find so much to do, it's never enough time to do it all. So I'm thankful for summer. It's going by really quickly. What are you thankful for, Trish?
I'm thankful for all my siblings having high averages this week in school. I'm so thankful. They're doing a great job.
Nice. So, as we are thinking about thankfulness every day of the year, let's be more thankful. Phantom, good morning and welcome. Welcome. Glad that you could join us. Good morning. Trish, what do you want to ask Phantom?
What are you thankful for, and what state are you listening in from? And good morning.
Good morning. And Phantom, we are going to be talking about how people make you feel. The question of the day is, in your last conversation, going all the way back to your last conversation, how did it make you feel? How did that conversation make you feel? Thank you. We are at the top 10 on this platform. If you have not seen our Vibe Talk Reels, REELS, please go check them out on Facebook. I will be posting them today so that it's easy for you to find them. Check them out. Let us know what you think. They are so motivating and inspiring. Thank you, Trish, my co-host, for the Vibe Talk Reels that you've added in. Thank you so much. New York, Phantom is from, and he's thankful for a place to live, and I'm thankful for food to eat. We appreciate that. Last conversation. How did it make you feel? You're thankful for a great girlfriend. Nice. I like that. Thank you, Phantom. Your last conversation with someone, Phantom, how did it make you feel? How did it make you feel? We are all blessed. I love that you feel that way. So beautiful. How did it make you feel, your last conversation? It's going to require for us to think about it. Every day we're talking to someone. But now let's connect to our feelings. You feel better to open up? Is that how you felt in your last conversation? Thank you for that. Blair, good morning and welcome. Trish, what would you like to say to Blair?
Good morning, Blair. What state are you listening in from, and what are you thankful for, and why?
Yeah, we're remembering to be thankful. North Carolina. Welcome, welcome. Today is Transformational Tuesday, and we are here at Vibe Talk. Vibe Talk can be found where, Trish?
we can be found on Vibe-Talk on Facebook, and we have a direct connect, 661-503-8993, voicemail and text message available, and we also have a YouTube channel, Vibe-Talk, all caps.
Thank you so much. And now, what does Blair say?
Blair says, thankful for my boyfriend that I have someone who cares about me.
I love it. I love it. It always makes us feel good. And finally, last conversation that you had, Blair, how did it make you feel? Your last conversation? Awesome? Love it. Last conversation. My last conversation was with an old friend of mine before I had my kids. It's awesome how we have grown and how we've become grandparents. And it was just awesome to hear from her, just out of the blue. We've been friends for a long time. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Trish, you want to go ahead and read what our podcast is going to be inspired from, please, and thank you.
Okay, it says, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah. We're asking that question. Maya Angelou once said that as well. When you have talked to someone, how did you make them feel? Are you aware of how you might make them feel? Being aware of how you feel. Because we don't. We may forget a little bit how someone makes you feel. You either decide right then and there if you're going to deal with that person or not. Have you all ever been in a conversation or somewhere where people made you feel like you're a part of the conversation? How many of you here have felt like that you were really a part of that conversation? Blair says me. Anybody else?
I have.
Me. Yeah, Trish. All the time, Blair. I love that. You're going to get to interact with us if you stay. I love that. Now, how many of you have ever been in an environment somewhere where you felt like you didn't belong or someone made you feel badly? Anybody ever had that happen to them?
I have.
I have. Blue Ghost says that in school. In school, Blair? In school. Thank you. High school? Okay. And so how was that for you? Let's talk about that because we're going to really get into this conversation. So we hope you'll stay because we want to change that for you. And we know that it's the past, but how do you want to make others feel since you know the feeling of how you felt uncomfortable? I've been in situations where people have made me feel uncomfortable. Not so much school, but in adult life. So what do we do about that? What do we do about it? So, when we think about the way others make us feel, okay, what does Blair say? Trish?
Blair says I have this boo used to harass me.
Okay. How many of us have ever felt that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So look at the commonality of people harassing people. I'll tell you a reveal about me. My youngest, or my oldest, used to be a bully. He was the bully. And that used to make me feel so bad when the teachers would tell on him. I felt bad because I was his mother and I felt responsible for that. And if there's any kids out there that I could apologize to, I will apologize right here and right now, because no child should feel harassed. But yet that's a common thing. And so because of bullying, that's where a lot of school shootings happen. It's not like back in the day, kids did all kind of things, but they never thought to bring a gun to school. And so for those of you who have been made to feel harassed, I thank you for bringing that out. You have 2 people that were in this room that felt harassed. Is that correct? Those 2 people, could you put up your electronic hand? If there's more of you coming, please do the same, because we want you to understand that this is commonality. Thank you, Blair. Thank you, Trish. So there you have something in common. Now, maybe you were harassed for different reasons. Not that I'm minimizing the harassment, because it is wrong. Oh, and Phantom also has been harassed. How did it make you all feel at work? Oh my. At work. Phantom, do you want to tell us what happened? Your boss. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. How many of you were harassed at school? So Blair says at his school it made me feel really uncomfortable. Trish, how did it make you feel?
It made me feel less than everyone else. It gave me very bad social anxiety.
Okay, so one social anxiety, one uncomfortable. Phantom, at work. How many of you knew that you could be harassed at work? How many of you knew that?
I did.
Yeah, people harass you. Why do you suppose your boss was harassing you? Did you ever give that any thought, Phantom? And I'm not saying, ladies and gentlemen, that that was right. We just kind of want to understand so that we don't make people feel that the way we felt. Because that right there at work, you think that when you get older, it doesn't happen. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to awaken you to awareness. How did that make you feel, Phantom? If you care to share. And by the way, phone lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Phantom says he just doesn't like me. Is that still happening to you right now, Phantom? No? Okay. Because I was wanting to offer you assistance when something like that happens and give you a reference. So you said he just doesn't like me and he wanted to make my life a living hell. And he says, we are not talking out to our audience, please and thank you. We're talking to my co-host and myself. That is one rule that we have here. No, you're good, Blair. It's just good to let people know that. We want to respect their space. So you don't have to apologize. You didn't know, baby. Stay with us. Tyler, good morning and welcome. Stay with us, guys. We are going to get into this conversation. And look at this. Phantom says he talked stuff behind my back to other employees. Can you guys imagine that? That still happens in adult life. Still happens. I remember when I first started teaching, and I was what they called the rookie, because I was the beginner. And I came in like fire only because I loved my job. And there was a couple of teachers, like when I would substitute for them, they wanted me to do their work. Talking about harassment, that's a form of harassment. Good morning, Tyler. And they would write these little write-ups and say I didn't cut their paper. So I told my superior, I'm not supposed to do their work. I'm sent here to help the class. I'm here to help the class, not do your work. I would not do it. But because I was the teacher that even the parents like I had when I first started, I had a long-term subbing job. And the class really drew to me. And so the parents were hoping that I would finish throughout the year with that class. However, what happened with that, I ignored it because I realized that sometimes teachers are there to get their paycheck. I'm a substitute. I'm not supposed to do any of your work other than teach that class. That's what I was hired for. Tyler, what is the question? What are you thankful? I'm sorry. That's all wrong. What are you thankful for and why? And Trish, what is the question of the day? We're talking about how people make us feel.
The question of the day is, in the last conversation you've had, how did it make you feel?
Yeah. Your last conversation. Your last conversation, how did it make you feel? We're talking to Tyler. Blair, are you rethinking the question? Okay, that's fine, baby. That's fine. You don't have to apologize. If you rethought the question, that's okay. Keep your comments coming. Your last conversation, Tyler says, made him feel bad. Tyler, can we ask why? Can I ask why? Now, what we want you guys to do, if you don't feel like talking about it, you are by no means obliged to talk about it if you don't want to. But if you want to share with us, you might help somebody who may feel like that. We've just found 2 people in today's podcast that felt the exact same way, that had something happen to them that made them feel commonality, maybe for 2 different reasons. So what does Tyler say, Trish?
He says, it was with my ex, and I want to try to work things out, but I don't think she'll take me back.
Okay. So that made you feel bad. I want you guys to know, thank you for that, Tyler. Tyler, where are you from, please, and thank you. Almost forgot to say that. Thank you guys for sharing. Utah. So now, let me start by asking this question. Do you guys think that people can make you feel a certain way? What is your take on that? I'm asking that question to everyone in the room because people will remember. Can people make you feel a certain way? Blair says, Blair, is that yeah?
I say yes.
Co-host says yes. Tyler says yes. I do believe people can. Anybody else? Let's try it this way. How many of you have given people control over your feelings? Maybe not intentionally, but you've decided this is how you're going to feel because you gave power to that person. You said, I feel this way because you made me, because you did this. How many of you are giving people control over it?
I have.
You've given people control. How so, Trish?
Because basically I was looking for that in my relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I ask him, like, do I look beautiful today? And if he says, yeah, then I'm beautiful because he says I'm beautiful. Or I'd ask him, if he says, you know what, you don't look your best today. Oh, I look ugly because he said I look ugly today. Like, that's how I let people control my feelings.
I love it. With that being said, how many other people have done that? Tyler says he has for sure, but he also thinks that there's a middle ground. Yes. And what's that middle ground for you, Tyler? Let's talk about that. When you give people control and there's a middle ground. Because that right there, and thank you, Trish. Very empowering. Thank you. That middle ground does what for you? When you say middle ground, Tyler. Excellent. Keep your comments coming. Join in. This is an interactive podcast always. Okay. In a relationship, we aren't robots. Yeah, we're real people, human. We are affected by each other, aren't we? Aren't we? I had a friend that if I was upset, that person would be upset. They could be in the best mood, and if something happened to me, they would change to my mood. I never understood that until I started wanting to do something like this. Now, do we affect each other's mood? Most certainly. But now, I'm with Trish on the part of if you're wearing something cute and you say, does this look cute on me? And they say, nah, that doesn't look too cute. I wouldn't wear it. Why am I going to let that affect me? Because after all, that's an opinion. We have to know the difference between an opinion and an emotion, right? Good morning, baby girl. What state are you listening in from? And thank you for joining Vibe Talk on this Transformation Tuesday. We're going to find out. To remember to help people change for the good, to help ourselves change for the good. So now, am I not going to wear my shoes because someone thinks they're ugly? Opinions do matter. By popular opinion, that's how we got Pepsi, Sprite, by popular opinion. But when it comes to my shoes, I don't need your popular opinion. Now, if I say, how do you feel? How do you feel? This is how it's different. Because you say, I wore those shoes. And those shoes, they made me do a happy dance. One should be so fortunate to have a shoe that makes them happy dance. But now, we need to understand opinion. Opinion, someone's viewpoint, other than feeling, someone's emotion. Did you guys know that? There's a difference between opinion and emotion. How many of you knew that? Anybody?
I didn't know that before. I know it now, though.
Blair, you said you do? Yeah. Does that make sense to you? Blair, Phantom, Trish, what I'm saying to you guys? You can always have an opinion, but now your feelings are a little different. Right? Am I making sense? So let's dig in here and let's talk about this, and keep your comments coming. We want to hear from you guys. You are what makes our podcast run the way it does, and we're so thankful, Trish and I. So I asked you the question, can people make you feel a certain way? And you all said yes. But now, here's what you need to know. External events and people cannot make us feel any certain way. Even though it feels like that. We're talking about outside things. You know, we have the pandemic. Well, we don't have any control over that, right? I hope that you all have come through it nicely. So we entered this situation of the pandemic. We decided if we're going to wear a mask or if we're not, if we're going to get a shot, if we're not. Now, keep in mind, this is not a political podcast. So if you have an opinion, please keep your opinion to yourself. Now, your feeling about it is what you've heard. So you're going to get to decide in every situation how you feel and what you believe. Then we moved on to the mask. Should we wear masks? Should we not? So what you believed about it, what you expected from wearing the mask, it influenced the way your feelings are going to end up. Many people said what about the mask and the shot? What did they say? And again, keep in mind, this is not a political topic, so we're not going to get into the politics of it. We just want to talk about feelings. Feelings. What did they say? Do you guys remember? When we first started, the shot and the mask. Phantom, are you saying no? That they didn't want to? Is that what you're saying no for? Let's keep these conversations coming. Okay, because you are Blair. I'm sorry, Phantom. I'm sorry. Blair, did you say no? Were you saying no to those two questions? What do you think, Trish? Okay, yeah, some people said no, while other people said what? What did you hear other people say? Because this is a good way, because we were affected by their decisions. What did other people say, Trish? Lily joined. Lily, good morning. What are you thankful for and why? Let's start there. Thank you for joining us here on Vibe Talk Transformation Tuesday. We're talking about the way people make you feel. Co-host. What were some of the feelings? Some said yes, some said no. Trish, go ahead.
Some said it was a hoax, that it wasn't real.
Yeah. What happened to you, Trish?
I got COVID-19.
Yeah. Do you guys know that our whole group, everybody in the group got COVID at one time or another? Remember that, Trish?
Yes, I remember that.
And we're so thankful nobody died from it. So what was your feeling about it, Trish, after you got the COVID?
I don't want to get that ever again.
Yeah. You see the feeling? Based on popular opinions, a lot of people didn't want to wear the mask. Me personally, I felt if the people didn't wear the mask, well, I'm going to be close enough to them and bring it home to my young grandchild. That's how I felt. Like I didn't want the baby to get it. See, that's how I felt. That's just one aspect, ladies and gentlemen. One aspect of something. But now we're going to move on because remember how I said, Phantom says what? Thank you, Phantom. Keep the conversation going, guys.
He says, I still wear my mask and take my hand sanitizer with me.
Yeah. Because you feel what? What do you feel, Phantom? Notice how, by his influence, how it will help us. You're still doing that. Why, Phantom? Because he wants to be safe. How many of you want to be safe? How many of you want to be safe?
I do.
I do. Blair says he wants to be safe. Blair, can you correct me if you're guy or girl, please? I want to be correct. Yeah. We want to be safe. Isn't that something, how we want to feel safe? All of us want to feel safe. And Blair, Phantom says they have a 66-year-old mom to take care of. You see that thinking? I love that. Because I would want you to take care of your mom too. See, instead of our own opinion, and because of that, we say, wow, well, maybe we should wear a mask. Yeah, that's getting into the politics of things. You just have to wait and see. Now, Blair, are you still in school? Are you still in school? Yeah, what grade are you in? What grade are you in? And Phantom says my friend lost her mom due to COVID-19. Yeah. Look at how that opened up. Blair, what grade are you in, sweetie? Thank you guys for being here. 12th grade next week. Yahoo! Let's give Blair congratulations. You're almost done. Your year will go by fast. You said you're nervous? I can't say. I don't blame you. And excited. Congratulations. 12th grade. Come a long way. So now, you and I are responsible for our own feelings. How many of you know that? You're responsible for your own feelings.
I do.
Yeah, I want you to take back your power. We're going to learn how when others make us feel a certain way. How many of you have ever asked this question? Why does he or she make me feel this way? I want you to put your electronic hand up if you ever asked your question like that. Why does he or she make me feel? Phantom, thank you for listening. Trish, and my hand should be up. Myself, anybody else? Why do they make me feel this way? That's a normal question, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start with this scenario. There was a scenario where there was a person and they said this. My mother was hurtful, saying hurtful things to me. What was going through her head? Are we in control of people's thinking, ladies and gentlemen?
No.
No. So just knowing that, I want you to say, we are not in control of others. I want you to write that. I am not. Write your name first, and I'll start us out. Nisi, I am not in control of other people's thinking or feelings. I'm not in control. I want everybody to write that with your name first. Write in the box, please and thank you. Thank you for being interactive. Every day is such a new day for us. You're going to write in the chat, I am Blair. I'm not in control of other people's feelings. Thank you, Blair. Recognizing your control of how you're going to feel. Anybody else? Because Blair sounds really confident about that. He's not in control of other people's feelings. No one can make Blair feel this way if Blair doesn't want to feel that way. Anybody else? Treasure, girl, I am not in control of other people's feeling or thinking! Exclamation point with a butterfly. A butterfly around here symbolizes growth. Growth. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Anybody else? Because we must realize that our power, our empowerment, I should say, because our empowerment is our own unique way. Blue, I am not in control of other people's feelings. Wow, got everybody to do that. Maybe you're not feeling it because you say, my boss at work, or that kid keeps bothering me at school. I'm sick of that kid. I'm sick of this boss. I should just tell him off. Now I want you to repeat that to yourself as you have written that. And I want you to write it somewhere in your device so that every time that you start feeling like that, you say, Miss Nisi, when I went to that vibe talk, she talked about not giving your power to someone else. There was one person in here that talked about the workspace and how the boss made them feel. And sometimes we appreciate that these kind of feelings come from everywhere, not just school, work, playground. My grandson told me one time, and it really upset me because my grandson is 2 years old and he's so friendly. They were at the playground and my son had taken him to the playground and kid throws sand at him. Well, he doesn't know about that. And it really bothered him because he talked about that for days. Told everybody that happened to him. And so I asked him how that made him feel. See, because that was something that he experienced. And being that he was 2 years old, he was able to express how that made him feel sad. So think about that. You've grown up. You're not 2. You've grown up. You can express how you feel because of that conversation. How many of you have ever done that? You know, you're not afraid to say, this is how I feel. Blair, you've done that? You want to expound on that, Blair? Thank you, Blair. Look at you guys. What an exciting Transformation Tuesday. With your grandma? Okay. Grandma. That's got to be tough. So what happened, Blair? You want to tell us? You want to share with us? Because you're going to help somebody, Blair, that hears this podcast. By the way, Trish, can you put up for us where we can be found, please, and thank you? Please and thank you. Because let's say you guys want to come back. Vibe Talk is always free. You can put it up, Trish. Just on the screen. Oh, sorry, baby. Totally forgot. I haven't forgot. We are talking to Blair and all of you. There you go. Forgot to give my manager. There you go. So, what does Blair say, Trish?
Blair says my cousin and sister were being mean, and I told her, and we talked about it.
Okay, feelings. How did that work out for you, Blair? In short, how did you expressing your feelings work out for you? Did it kill you? Did it make you afraid? How did it make you feel, Blair? Yeah, a little? A little what? I don't want to put words in your mouth, baby. I want you to be free to talk. Were you afraid? How did it make you feel? See, we have situations that come up in our life and we say, well, I don't like the way that makes me feel. We don't want to say anything. So look at the awareness that Blair has. He didn't use any of my words. He said scared because I have did it multiple times. Did the situation end up getting better for you, Blair? Okay. Yeah. See, when you talk out your feelings, what happens? Sorry about that, Blair. Blair is a girl. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Okay, so let's go on. So now your boss, you're at your workspace and your boss is not making you feel too good, or you're allowing your boss to be in your space, to crawl inside of your brain and your heart. You know the saying, don't let anybody rent free space in your mind? That applies to any and all who take control. Your boss is not some alien that crawls up inside of you and starts telling you he's only the boss at your secular place. But he doesn't boss your mind and your heart. So he can't make you feel any kind of way. That is, unless you let him. Let's get connected to ourselves. So sometimes in our mind, think about your beautiful brains, you might feel hurt. How many of you have ever felt hurt about something? Anybody? I have.
I have.
Yeah, look at you guys. I'm so proud of this group today. Good morning, Walker. Good morning. You are at Live Interactive Podcast. We're talking about how people made you feel. Last conversation, Walker. How did it make you feel in your last conversation? That is our question of the day. Join right in. This is Transformation Tuesday. So we agree. You said good? Okay. We're going to welcome Walter, and I ask that everyone be patient and listen to what Walter has to say without speaking out. Good morning, Walter. What state are you listening in from, please, and thank you. Can you hear me? I thought I answered him. Did I lose your connection? You want to try again, Walter? Because I just answered your call. Walter called in. We'll wait to see if he's going to call in again. Last conversation he said made him feel good. We love to hear that. We're talking about our feelings. Walker, we are waiting for your call. If you want to call through. Lines are open, ladies and gentlemen. When is the last time someone made you feel ashamed? Ashamed. Ashamed. Anybody in here?
Like last month.
Last time, so you felt that, okay? And you know what, guys, ladies and gentlemen? I have a bad habit. You want to know what my bad habit is? Telling my youngest, you should be ashamed of yourself. Well, he's not going to feel ashamed of himself if he doesn't want to feel that. How many of you get that? If you don't want to feel some way, you're just simply not going to feel that way. The same way that you don't want to feel ashamed of yourself is the same way that you don't want somebody to tell you that your beautiful shoes that you're wearing, or your shirt that you're wearing, or your dress that you're wearing, you don't want them to tell you how to feel about that dress because you like that dress and you're not going to put it back in your closet like it doesn't exist. Right? The same as you would not make anybody make you feel ashamed. Trish, did you want to say something?
I was gonna say it's like apologizing. Like,
yeah,
they're not gonna say they're sorry unless they feel sorry.
yeah. So true. So true. So now, as we think about ourselves and what makes us feel the way we do, let's think about that. Let's take responsibility. There you are, Walker. For feeling the way we do because we want to. Hi there, Walker. Good morning.
Good morning. My mother decided to call me, and that interrupted my.
That's okay.
Between live and hold on a minute. Crap. There. My music was up a little too loud, and I didn't want it to startle anybody.
No worries. Walker, what state are you listening in from? What state?
Maryland.
Maryland. Welcome. What's on your mind in relevance to this conversation?
I'm getting ready to pull out of the Johns Hopkins Hospital because we just took a 2-year-old down to Johns Hopkins. She was having a heart attack, and this idiot next to me did not know how to read heart attack on the heart monitor.
Oh my goodness.
She's fine now.
That was my next question. I'm just letting you finish.
We got a chance to bypass the emergency room. Now, most people are probably wondering, why the hell did you bypass the emergency room? Well, if you go to the ER with a heart attack, most of the time you're going to be waiting 15, 20 minutes just to get up to the cath lab.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you can bypass right up to the cath lab as soon as you can so you can try to undo the blockage.
Yes.
She was having a pretty massive heart attack.
Oh my goodness. Is that your baby?
No.
Oh my goodness.
ready to pull out of Johns Hopkins Hospital right now, as long as I remember how to get back up to Simpson County.
Well, I hope that she's going to recover well. Are they keeping her? Are they keeping
We
the
don't
baby?
know. We took her up to the cath lab. They'd done the catheterization on the stretcher because they didn't want to wait. And then we put her in another room. So it's more than likely they are keeping her.
Yeah. I had a minor heart attack and they didn't keep me. And what you're saying is so true. Because they'll make you wait and wait and wait. And you have to bypass all of that.
So I'm trying to teach this dude how to freaking read a heart attack. When you see a scribble line on the EKG, you know it's AFib. Usually what that means is fibrillation will more than likely cause a heart attack or stroke. So,
Yeah.
as we didn't have to shock her, her blood pressure was 230 over 40.
Oh, it's so
Her heart rate
high.
was 250.
Oh my goodness.
So,
Well, we do hope that everything is okay. And our prayers and our thoughts are definitely with you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to know a person to feel for them. Feel sympathy. Feel empathy for others. You don't have to know them. Always remember that. You can feel for another human being. And we do feel.
so is this podcast public?
This is a public podcast, and you can find us on Facebook. And Trish, you want to put that in for him so that if he loses contact, he'll always know where to find us. We're live. Vibe-talk. And we just want to let you know how we feel about that baby. So young for that to be happening to. So young. And thank you. Thank you so much for your call. Wow. Wow. We just never know. Feelings we're talking about. What did you guys just feel when you heard that call? Let's start there. Every time we do a topic, someone calls in. Sad. Blair says sad. I felt sorry. Anybody else? What did you feel? Trish, go ahead.
I felt worried
Yeah?
and triggered because my brother's friend, he passed away like 2 weeks ago from a heart attack. He was only 17 years old.
Phantom says upset. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is what Vibe Talk does. We're in touch with real feelings. There's no scripts here. In fact, I'm in Southern California and Trish is all the way in South Carolina. We don't have any scripts. Blair says because we have to fake a crash at my school, it made me scared. Yeah. This is real life, ladies and gentlemen. And we all have feelings. Everybody felt some kind of way when we had that call. That's why we ask you to listen and not talk out, and you all did so well. So you can really hear and have empathy. You don't have to know anybody to feel for them. But now we're going to talk about your feelings. And Blair says you were in the mock accident or crash. Yeah, that would make me nervous too. That would make me nervous. I remember in school when we used to fake things, like have those runs. And by the way, when you have those kind of things happen at school, nobody does what they're supposed to do. Because everybody's chaotic. They don't remember any of that stuff. But it's good to have those practices. So now, people cannot make us feel any certain way. Let's get that. Let's understand that and how it works. Now, I want to give you a scenario. Are you ready to listen to it? This is going to require you to come a little closer. When you hear those words, come a little closer. That means that you're going to really listen. I want you to really listen to a scenario. 100 people are on an airplane. And those 100 people are unexpectedly, they're given parachutes. And they're told to jump from the plane. Now, how do you think those people feel? Let's analyze that. Let's say you're in the crowd of those 100 people. You're one of the 100 people. And I say, everyone on board, take your parachutes and jump from the plane. What's your emotion? What's your emotion?
I'd say shock.
You're shocked? Go ahead.
Fear.
In fear? Anybody else? What's your emotion? Blair says scared. Like Blair was talking about the mock crash. Scared. Anybody else? Okay. You know, I would be terrified. I would be terrified. And that would strike up emotion. We all talked about scared, terrified. You said if someone is scared, you will jump with them? Okay. So now, this is a physical situation that caused emotion right away, right? Now, there are some who might feel the exact same way you do. Scared, terrified, a little nervous. Now, suppose you were an expert in skydiving. Would you still feel scared? You're the only one who knows skydiving. You've been doing it. You go out on Saturday, and now you're faced with this, to jump out of a plane. Do you think you would feel the same as all the others?
No.
Why not?
Because I do this on the daily.
Yeah! So you say no problem. But now, Blair, you had something that I found very interesting. You said if someone is scared, you jump with them. Now, maybe it is that the person that has the skydiving experience, when he hears this instruction, he does this on the daily, like Trish says, and now he might be still scared, but he's going to save the other person's life that is scared too, because he has the experience. What's the connector? The connector is that your feelings are common, but no one controls your feelings. No one controls it. You acknowledge that the skydiver who was asked to jump out of that plane was scared. And by the way, every Saturday when he's out there skydiving, he's still scared. He's trained. You see the difference? So there is a different kind of emotion, although feeling scared. Because you can be scared and not confident, and scared and confident. How many of you knew that? How many of you knew that? Anybody? You did, Blair? Make sense to you? So now, I want you to understand whatever is said to you, whatever is done to you, You are in control of your feelings. You cause your own feelings. Remember how I said about my youngest, and when he does stuff, I say, you should be ashamed of yourself. You know, mothers do that. Well, he's not going to feel ashamed of himself if that's not his feelings, right? Because I can't make him feel that. I feel that. I feel that. He may not feel that. How many of you understand what we're talking about? Anybody?
I do.
Yeah. You are in control of your feelings. You are in full control of your feelings. Especially when you are making choices. Blair says, I do because my mother is like that. You don't feel ashamed, right, Blair? You're like my son. My son, he doesn't feel ashamed. That's my feeling. I can't put my feeling off on him, just the same as someone can't put their feeling off on you. So I want you to be able to overcome what distresses you. And you know what distresses you? And tell me if this is not true. When you say that someone makes you. Someone made you. Not necessarily an excuse, but that's the first thing you say. Feel distress tightening in your chest? Versus saying, I did it because I wanted to. Do you see the freedom in that? How many of you see freedom in those two types? You see that, Blair? Just what about you?
I see it.
Yeah. Because if you just come out and say, well, I did that because I felt like that because I felt like that. Versus me telling you how you should feel. Please pay attention to that. Be awakened to your awareness. Be awakened to your awareness. This, ladies and gentlemen, by you having these types of feelings because someone you thought, your brain programmed your belief to be because they feel this way, because they did this. Now you've got distress in your life. Because if you keep saying that, you're never going to solve it yourself. You're never going to come to a resolution because you put the blame on the other person. The same as I put the blame when I say to my son on occasion, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because maybe he's not feeling ashamed of himself. I'm feeling that. I cause my own self-stress. Where do your feelings come from? What have we learned, Trish? And Blair, you can chime in as well. Keep chiming in. I love the conversation. Where do our feelings come from?
Experience?
Experience? Yes. What we've been through? Where else does it come from? Your feelings. What do you mean by act? The way you act? Okay. Your feelings come from the way you think. How many of you have gotten dressed and went somewhere you absolutely hated to be? And you said all the way from taking the shower to putting on your clothes to getting in the car, I hate this place. I don't want to go to this place. I don't want to go to this place. I don't want to go to this place. You said it all the way down the journey street. You turned on, I don't want to go to this place lane. And then you hit the road until you finally entered, I don't want to go to this place. What have you told your mind? Let's see if you get it. You feel this way, you've said this, your mind thought it. What have you told your mind? Anybody know?
You don't want to go there?
Yeah! So you've already made up in your mind, you don't want to go there. You see what the mind does? The mind tells you things. Blair says when I was a little kid, I was afraid of this restaurant in you're at your beach. I know you're finishing, so I'll wait. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You're afraid of the restaurant? Okay. And so now, as you told yourself, I'm just waiting for you, Blair. You've told yourself you didn't want to go there. Now you can tell yourself that everything is fine. No problem, I'm fine. Everything is fine. You're going to feel fine. You see, that's your cognitive behavior. Your cognitive thinking says, I'm fine. I have no problem. That's your thinking. And your thinking transmits into your ability to feel. You thought it. Now we're going to finish what Blair is saying. At Myrtle Beach, she says the restaurant was called Jimmy Buffet's Margaritaville. So you were afraid of it. Why were you afraid? So now, when you tell yourself something, cheer up, or such thing, you're okay, your brain starts to believe that system. We want you to understand emotionally your feelings without getting into the statistics of doctors and what they believe. I'm not a doctor, I'm a wellness coach. You said there was a hurricane in a restaurant, like a fake one, okay? So worrying doesn't do us any good when we think about it. Queen of anxiety. Queen, good morning and welcome. What are you thankful for and why? We're talking about our feelings. What are you thankful for and why? Queen. If you're like me, how about worrying? Anybody ever felt worried about something or continue to worry? How many of us? Blair says yes. Anybody?
Me, I'm terrible.
Yes, I am terrible at worrying. I'm getting better. But have you worried to death? Where your chest starts to hurt, it tightens up, you got a headache. Blair says lots of time. See, all of us here have said we're worriers. We worry. How has worrying helped you? Has worrying helped anybody? Because we all know what it feels like. Has worrying helped anyone?
No.
Blair agrees. No, not really. But now, for us, we have to tell ourselves to do what? Instead of worrying, what do we need to tell ourselves? To stop. Don't worry. Yes. Don't worry.
I was going to say it's okay.
It's okay. Even telling yourself that. I've had to tell myself that many of times. Self-talk. By the way, Trish, that Mirror Talk song, that whole album is just beautiful. Mirror talk, sitting yourself down, spending time with yourself, having a heart-to-heart with yourself. I've had to do that. I used to worry to death. Let something happen. Let one of my kids not answer their phones. I worry myself until I think they've had some terrible accident and they come in, or I hear from them and they say, I was fine. Did worrying help me? I got a headache because I worried. So now we want you to think about this and be able to change something about those feelings that you control. You've told yourself don't worry. You've told yourself it's okay. I've told myself stop worrying. I want you to be able to think about why you believe what you believe. Like for me, why do I believe that my children got in an accident when they just went to run an errand? Where is that coming from? That, my friend, is self-destructive behavior. Because every time they leave, I used to think that. Told you about the time when my son, my youngest son, had left me. He'd been gone all but 15 minutes. I left, and I got headed on the freeway. I saw a car burning. So my mind said that was him. Couldn't get him. Called him. By the time I got a hold of him, I was in complete tears. That car wasn't his. And I said to him, I thought you were burning up in a car. Because I couldn't tell what the car was because it was in flames. All I knew is he left me 15 minutes. But why do we do this? Self-destruct in our feelings. Think about that. Because of what we believe. Is that not true? Have to ask simple questions to fix that. Ask ourselves, is it true? Is it possible? Even about the way we feel. You know those shoes and the dress that someone told you was ugly? And the pants? Go back to that and ask yourself, if so-and-so says these are ugly, and I'm giving all the power to the person who said that, and I'm not going to ever wear these pants, these shoes, I'm just going to leave them in the closet because Joe Blow said they're ugly. You just gave power to him if you never wear those shoes again. Keep wearing those shoes. Take your power back. Trish, did you want to say something?
Because I was going to say, because I know what I thought when I bought them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cute. This looks nice on me. Yeah, I love it. And then, why would I buy it and think all that just to not wear it because someone said something about it? Like, that doesn't make sense. That's like wasting money.
Yeah. And that's taken away from your uniqueness. A friend of mine told me one time, first time I ever dyed my hair, I dyed my hair blonde. You who have met with me, you have seen my hair. They said, I liked your hair better the other way. And I laugh. Not because it's funny. I laughed because I would have given that person power had I changed my hair. See, due to one person's opinion. Because I like that color. For no other reason than I like to wear that color. Not because of someone else. Because I'm my own person. But I would have given power to that person. You know what I told him? Your hair is blonde. Then I had another person who said, I don't know why you wear your hair that color. 3 weeks later, I saw them. Can you guess what color their hair now was? Who can guess?
Blonde.
Yeah! Imagine that. But they didn't like me wearing my hair that color. I laughed. Take your power back. Take your power back. Learn to understand that you matter. Or do you? How many of you think you matter? Anybody in here think they matter? I think I matter.
I matter.
Yeah, Blair says she matters. You matter. The way you feel matters. No one can make you feel. Always remember that. You know what you say the next time somebody makes you feel better? Use the example I just gave you. I love my son because of his strong-willedness. You know, oftentimes my mother says, that's you. To a fault. Because he's very determined. And he's like me. And you know what? He's right. He doesn't feel ashamed. I'm the one saying that he should be. So he's not going to take that on. Be like that in life. Don't allow someone to make you feel something you don't feel. Take your power back. So now, we've discussed that. How do you recognize how people feel? Let's do this. We're going to try an experience. Are you ready? Pull your chair up. I want each of you, for those who are coming, to sit with your eyes closed. And you're only going to use your ears. You have no sight. Tertskit. Good morning and welcome. What state are you listening in from? And our question of the day is, in your last conversation, how did it make you feel? Thinking back on your last conversation, how did it make you feel? We're talking about feelings. Vibe Talk is all about feelings and emotion, and we're interactive. Thank you for joining us. And what state are you listening in from? We are right now going to close our eyes. We're going to do something interactive. Close your eyes. Use only your ears. We have no sight, but now how can you understand a person's emotion if you can't see their emotions? How can you understand it? We're going to go through some emotions. Remember, you're closing your eyes. I'm sad. I'm sad because it's raining outside. I'm sad. Remember, I can't see, but I can hear. How do you interpret being able to understand my sadness? And I want you to open your eyes to answer that question. I'm sad because it's raining. Jupiter, good morning and welcome. How do you interpret what I just said? Turkskit and Jupiter, what state are you listening in from? I'm sad because it's raining outside. I couldn't see, but I could tell you. How do you know I'm sad? What about me? Go ahead.
By listening.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I can listen to tones. If your eyes were closed, then you should key into this. Now, reporting, good morning and welcome. If you haven't said what state you are from, please put it in, please. For those of you who've already done it, you don't have to. Texas, reparkings, thank you. Our question of the day, Trish, is what?
In your last conversation, how did it make you feel?
Your last conversation, whoever you chatted with, whoever you talked with, how did it make you feel? We're talking about feelings, ladies and gentlemen. Vibe Talk is all about feelings. Thank you, reparking, for listening. Texas. Jupiter says, annoyed, mad. Thank you, Jupiter. You want to tell us what happened? If you care to. And Jupiter, what state are you listening in from? Thank you for that. It's important. We always make sure that we thank our states and communities. Nebraska, thank you. Thank you. So now, going back to our assignment that we just did, you read their emotions. You listen to their tone. Understanding the assignment. How do you recognize emotions? What do you need to do to recognize emotions? Because some of us are talkers. How many of you are more talking than you ever listen? Be honest. More talking than you ever listen. Jupiter said maybe me. Okay, I'll accept that. Blair, what do you say? Remember, Blair, it's your feelings. Because your feelings are important. You do? Okay. More talking than you ever listen. We want you to learn to change that today. Listen in. When someone asks you to listen, they're saying, can you hear me? When I say pull up your chair, I'm asking you to listen. When I say come close, that means come here, listen. And we all do. There are times when even I talk too much. My kids will say, Mom, you're not even listening to me. And so they have taught me to really listen. Lend someone your ear. Lend your ear. Lend me your ear. I used to say that back in the olden days. Using your ear for tone, emotions, being able to listen. You don't even have to look. I want you guys to try this assignment if you get a chance. Maybe there's somebody in your house you can try it with. Try turning your back. Or maybe do a scenario like we did today. Something like that. But make your own creatively. And you could be the one who is using your ears while you're listening to them. Hear their emotion. You know, oftentimes we say, we know that person. But you know what? I was once told, you don't know that person like you think you know them because their feelings. You have to get into their feelings. You have to care. Is it Silcat? Silcat, welcome. What are you thankful for and why? Not here. I want to thank you that are here because you're going to learn something. I want you to be intuitive. How many of you think you're smart? I think I'm smart. Anybody else think you're smart?
I know I'm smart.
Okay. Anybody else? You're smart. Blair, you don't think you're smart? My goodness, I would have never thought that. Because you are really listening to this and you've answered some really well things. But I'll accept that. Oh yeah, math, my worst subject too. Don't ask me about it. Everybody will fail math. Don't learn it from me. So now, you're smart, right? You know something. How many of us know something versus nothing? Anybody in this room know something versus nothing? I know something. So now I want you to know, with the skill that you have of knowing something, I want you to be able to perceive others' emotion. If I said I'm sad because it's raining, some of you said you perceived that I was sad. So how would you respond to that? What would you say? What could you say? Let's learn something together. I'm sad because it's raining. What would you say? That's my problem. Oh, I like that. Blair knows something. What did Blair say, Trish?
Blair says, I can make your day better.
Wow. So Blair heard me. She perceived that I was sad. Why was I sad? Because it was raining. So she took those two. She says, okay. My response to that can be, I can make your day better. I can make your day better. You know, I want to reveal something about me. One time I was so sad that I didn't want to live. Those of you who have been here, you know the story. And I would stay in bed because I was dealing with depression. Didn't want to leave my house, couldn't leave my house for nothing. One day, a very dear friend of mine came in my house. She opened up the curtains and she let me lie there. She started to make my day better. You see, weather affected me. I was that person who said, I'm sad because it's raining. And she said, I can make your day better. I'm going to open these curtains. And then it took some time for her to say, let's change the environment. You don't like the environment in here? Let's go out. Let's have some fun. She taught me to live again. How about that? That's why I was so impressed about what you said about making your day better, because I actually had that happen. I am alive, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so thankful that I didn't take my own life. See, we have to be in tune. We have to hear the person say, I'm sad. We have to know what that tone is. We have to say, let's listen. Let's pull up our chair. Let's understand the sound of it. Perceiving emotion. Now, if you can't perceive anybody else's emotion, I ask that you perceive what yours is. What is your emotion at this point? Right now, what is your emotion? How do you feel? What I'm asking you is, how do you feel? How do you feel right now, at present? Are you thinking of that? How do you feel? Inform. Blair says inform. Look at what Blair knows. Trish, how do you feel right now?
I feel certain.
Certain. Jupiter, how do you feel right now? Right now. See, if you have to think about how you feel, you need to get connected to your feelings. You feel tired? Okay. How can you do what? What are you asking? connect to your feelings? You're here, right? You're learning. Connecting to your feeling is understanding how you feel. Do you understand how you feel? Because if you don't understand how you feel, how are you going to understand how other people feel around you? You ever been with somebody that just makes your day everything? And you wish that day would never end because you're having so much fun? How many of you have had experiences like that in your lifetime?
Me with my dad.
You had experience with your dad? How about, Jupiter? What was your experience? This is how you're going to get connected to your feelings. What was that experience like? With your dad? Okay. So you remember how that was? That's how you connect. You say, I felt this way when I was with my dad. How did you feel, Trisha, when you were with your dad? Or when you're with your dad? Let's help Jupiter.
I feel like spending time with my best friend, that we're having so much fun, like always, that we understand each other.
Yeah. Get connected to how you're feeling. Don't allow other people to tell you how you are feeling. I was at a doctor's one time, and I was in the emergency room, and in my emergency room, the person asked the doctor, Doctor, how am I feeling? And I thought, wow, I've never heard that before. How am I feeling?
Me neither.
Yeah, and it was funny to me. When you have to ask how you're feeling to other people, and you're feeling the way that they make you feel, you gave power to them. Blair says with my dad, because I helped him pick up bats at a softball game when you were little. Okay, yeah. So you have connection with your dad. See, when I was a little girl, I didn't have those connections. I didn't, and my mom gets mad at me every time I say that. And it's like, Mom, that's truthful. It doesn't say he's a bad person. It's just he was struggling with his problems. But I remember the one time that I did feel connected to my dad. That was when E.T. was released. You guys know about that movie, E.T.? Who knows about that movie? Yeah, you know about that movie? Well, I got to see it in the movie theater. That is the last time I ever was with my dad. That is the first time I felt connected to my dad. Do you know how long ago that was? Connected to my dad. How? I like that, Blair. Thank you, because Blair's asking me questions. I love that. You know, Blair, because my dad was an alcoholic. And because of that alcoholism, I was afraid of that. Because my dad was not, I only knew that. So my dad asked me one time, because he was trying to do the right thing. My dad was known for a heart. You said your dad's bipolar? Okay. So we have something in common. So listen. So my dad asked me one day, and I'll never forget this. He said, hey, how about we go see E.T.? I never really spent time with my dad. My mother was always the center. My mother was always the one I spent time with. Good morning and welcome. And I remember him taking me to see E.T. That's how long ago. Now, if someone can do a check for me, Trish, tell me how old that movie E.T. is. And that's how long ago. My dad is no longer living. But I'm glad that I had the opportunity to do that. I'm glad because it gave us connection. It gave us connection. I want you guys, while we're talking about connecting, to understand how you feel. Look and listen. Pay attention.
It says it's 40 years old.
I thought so. That was 40 years ago. I saw it in the theater when it first came out. I didn't see it with my mom. I did everything with my mom, so I was naturally close to her. Get connected, ladies and gentlemen. Read people's face. Have you ever read somebody's face and you know exactly how they're feeling?
I have.
Yeah, I just saw a reel this morning. Little girl, and you know it's set up. She kissed her mommy's tummy because her mommy was pregnant. The little girl didn't want to do that. You could tell all over her face. My older son used to be a child actor. And the kid that was there did not want to eat. I think it was Hershey's. Because you have to retake and retake and retake and retake. They do it so many times that the kids get sick of eating this stuff. I used to tell my son all the time, pay attention. This is how you do it. We would practice. Boom, it's done. Except one time he didn't go over his lines and he missed a great opportunity with movie managers because he didn't listen to me and lost the part. And that's okay. But it was a lesson. Anyhow, we need to stay connected to our feelings. We need to understand how we feel. How we feel. Emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. When you read somebody, this day it means something else. When you read somebody, you've told them off. You've checked them. You've put them in their place. But when I read somebody, that means that I know you either like something or you don't. When we're talking to people, do we look directly at them? We're not looking at people anymore because we're too busy behind a screen. I want you to be able to vocalize a person's emotions instead of telling them how they feel, instead of you telling them how they feel and them telling you how you feel. We need to ask, is that how you feel? Especially when we get into disagreements of one sort or another. Is that how you feel? Listening matters, ladies and gentlemen. Now that you've come in Vibe Talk, you've had the opportunity to share and share alike. We're just about the end of our podcast. How do you feel? Blair, I believe it was you who said informed. The rest of you, how do you feel now that you've been here? This whole time, Jupiter, you've been here. Trisha's co-host, so she's been here. How do you feel? Do you feel like somebody listened to you? You had the opportunity to speak? This is why we don't want it to be like any other podcast you've heard. You hear podcasts, they're boring. Everybody wants a story, but the story is all about your story. And you're getting a chance to interact. So what will you change? Our thought for today. You like the inactive. I'm glad you like that. We want to hear feedback from you guys. We made it inactive. It wasn't always this way, but we made it like that because we know that everybody, all the people that have something to say, this is where you come to have something to say about these topics, to inspire you. To inspire you, to help you to understand. And what is our thought for today as we wrap up? We're not done yet. We're almost done, guys. Thank you for being here. Trish, what is our podcast, our topic inspired from?
Our thought is, I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel.
So we hope, Trish and I hope, that we've made you feel welcome. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. If you want to find us, come on over to Facebook. We are live right now. Trish and I are on our Facebook page at vibe-talk. Yeah, that's where we are. Every day, every weekday, we're here. Sometimes we're on pre-recorded. Tomorrow's going to be a pre-record. I've got an appointment. Jupiter says he's been here for a while. You found us again. Thank you so much, Jupiter. And that's what will happen to many of us. We'll leave and come back, but I'm glad you're coming back. We're still here, aren't we, Jupiter? I want to thank my co-host, Trish. I want to thank all of you for participating. We had a nice time here today. But most of all, I want you to change the way that you are making people feel, and I want you to take the initiative, because we can't control them. We can only control us and our feelings. Becoming emotionally intelligent, staying aware, acknowledging and accepting. We've had a lot. Trish, can you close us out with a question? One more interaction, ladies and gentlemen, before you go. My co-host, thank you.
What have you learned or discovered about yourself today? And what was your experience like here today?
2 questions. Thank you, Trish. Thank you so much for being an incredible host. What have you learned about you today? Blair said that I can open up to people. I love that, Blair. And you, by the way, Blair, you do know something. What was your experience here? Like, Blair, how did you feel being here? Talking about emotions. Talking about emotions. Blair said she can open up to people. So what was your experience? Was this your first time? Jupiter let me know that it wasn't their first time being here. How did you feel being here, Blair? And Trish, my question is to amazing. We hope you'll come back. Guys, watch our Facebook Reels. Incredible, he says. Thank you. We want you to feel that each time you're here, you're going to learn something. We're going to inform you of something. And share these videos. You're more than welcome to share them. Trish, what was your experience like here today, and what did you learn about yourself?
I learned that, I discovered, that I'd rather people remember how I impact them, how I made them feel, versus what I told them.
Absolutely.
And my experience here today, I was very happy. I loved the live today. So much interaction.
Yes. You guys were great.
And I was also triggered because me and Blair have commonality in the bullying department, but it's okay. It's okay. We're going to get through it. You can get through it, Blair.
Absolutely. And if you all are being bullied at work, there is a situation where you all can go to if you are being harassed. I don't want you to lose your job, but I want you to stay aware and awake and take your power back. Just because you're working for somebody does not, do you hear me? Does not give them the right to harass you. You want more information about that? Contact me and we'll do that in private. But we do have resources for that. Because nobody should be bullied. At school, nobody. Tell your teachers, your parents, your counselors, let somebody know. Don't wait 3 weeks down the line and then you don't know. Thank you all. I felt that there was so much participation, it just like blew it off the walls today. Thank you for that, the interaction. Tomorrow is Wednesday Wellness. Trisha will put up a pre-record. Go ahead and participate in that. We'll be back live on Thursday. And our podcast begins 5:30 a.m. West Coast and 8:30 a.m. East Coast. Trish, what were the states in here today?
Today we had New York, North Carolina, Utah, Maryland, Texas, Nebraska, South Carolina, and Palmdale, California.
Yay. We actually really do, guys, have all of these. Sometimes we have out of the country in here, too. We're so happy for that. Please go check out Vibe Talk Reels. Let us know what you think. Trish and I are working hard. I'm so proud of you, Trish. Building for us something. She's doing that on her end. I'm doing it on my end. Vibe Talk Reels. Trish, you want to put that in the chat for them? You know, all you have to do is hashtag it. It'll come up. Vibe Talk Reels. You're going to like them. We're doing that. We want to affect people, impact them. Vibe Talk Reels. That's what it looks like. Go check it out. Tell us what you think. Thank you for joining us. And we want to say thank you to those of you who are coming and will interact. Find and follow Vibe Talk so you know when we're on. And I want to say, Trish, thank you for your beautiful album. I'm excited. I'm going to play it again today. And Trish has left information on our Vibe Talk page. How to find her. Thank you so much for being an incredible host. Thank all of you for being here on this Transformation Tuesday. I wish you more change. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, everybody, and keep remembering, you matter, your feelings matter. Have a good day, and thank you once again. Bye for now.